Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine. I'm here with Mark Spillane, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing for Crystal Expedition Cruising, and we are on the Crystal Endeavor. We're shaking it out here in the Caribbean, but it's going to go to parts unknown, and you'll learn all about that on Insider Travel Report. When we last spoke to you, we were talking about actually your title was longer. Yes. because you had yachting as well as expedition, yes. And so a decision was made to sell the Crystal Esprit, and no doubt because this ship is more about what Crystal is promising. Absolutely. You want to talk about that?
Absolutely, yes. So, the Esprit was loved by our guests, by our crew.
Had the highest ratings, you were telling me.
Yes. For a while, it had the highest guest satisfactory ratings from all of our ships. And actually, we'll be talking more about our guest satisfaction scores because since we started resuming service with Serenity, with Symphony, Endeavor, and our two river ships that have entered service, they've just been out of the park, which is fantastic. But the Esprit was a fantastic vessel, but it didn't fit what we vision, the expedition and the active adventure that Crystal wants to offer. And there's various reasons for that. From the hardware standpoint, the ship can't sail to the Antarctic, to the Arctic. It wasn't equipped for what we needed it to be for our vision of bringing the Crystal luxury service to the ends of the world. And this ship does it. So, we have what we envisioned.
So this is bringing Crystal luxury to new places.
To places unknown. And what I love about the expedition market is we go to places like the Antarctic, the Arctic, hard to reach places, and up until recently, there wasn't a luxury option to travel to these parts of the world. So, a guest had to make, a compromised decision. Do I want to go visit, the king penguins in South Georgia, but I might have to give up some of my luxury amenities that I'm used to traveling with? And now they don't have to give up.
Well, no, but now there's a lot of competition. And so we need to talk about the fact, what is it that Crystal offers in expedition that the others don't?
Sure. I mean, we start right with the Crystal basics. The Crystal Onboard Experience is beloved by our guests, and it is absolutely amazing how that service transcends vessels that we have. So whether you're on our ocean ships, our river ships, now on the beautiful Endeavor, you feel at home with Crystal because the crew that are on board this ship, they came from our other ships. They know our guests.
I recognize them.
Yep, they'll come up to you and welcome you on board, and you're home. And I think that is the one thing that we do perfectly and flawlessly is the onboard experience. But then you talk about the size of the ship, 20,200 tons, but only 200 guests on board. I mean, there are other ships within this range that have 500 plus.
And that's another thing about the Esprit compared to this. You have more berths, shall we say, and also you were looking for new to cruise because you're hoping for a skewing younger. You'll get that here, absolutely. But you'll also get a little multi-generational because maybe grandparents need the help of an elevator, which you didn't have on the other ship.
Right. Correct. On Esprit, Esprit didn't have an elevator. Of course, we have elevators here on board Endeavor. We have an accessible suite here on Endeavor. And, so like you said, for multi-gen families, it's perfect. The younger kids or even, the adult, the parents, can go off on the Zodiacs and be in the submersible or what have you, and the grandparents, they can stay on board.
And then at dinner they can all talk about it.
Exactly. And I've spoken to many guests that they fully understand they might not be able to get off the ship and do everything, but they want to be on board, and we can welcome them.
And the ship is a destination. Absolutely. There are things to do and for them. And
yep. And we have a fantastic expedition team on every voyage, and if you have an opportunity to speak with an expedition leader, an expedition expert, I mean, they are just fascinating to listen to. They've been everywhere. They have such passion for the destinations, for the wildlife, and it just, that to me, I could listen to them days on end.
The Esprit also didn't have 2 helicopters and a submarine.
No, it did not. So yeah, this ship, the bells and whistles that we have are really about immersing the guest in the destination that we're sailing. So we have all those fun toys as well.
So this ship was ready in 2020.
Yeah, we were on schedule for August 2020 launch, and then of course COVID happened, and in reality, we launched 11 months late because of COVID. But that's still pretty phenomenal. That given this that country's closed, you couldn't get equipment, you couldn't get crew or people, across borders, and we were still able to launch the ship in July in Iceland. So, and even before COVID, we designed this ship obviously well before COVID. But the space, that wasn't a COVID thing. That was what we wanted to offer on board the ship.
Well, I like what you just said. You just threw it off, and we were able to start in Iceland. And you just threw it off. But last time we talked, the permits and the planning to do any foreign country, and then having to have them for helicopters, for submarines, all of that, and then for contingencies of ports that you didn't think you had to go, but there was a storm. I mean, you just pass it off. We did Iceland, so let's talk about Iceland.
And that's what I love about Expedition, because you'll see our itineraries, many of them are a bit vague, but that's by design. That's because we're going to get down to the peninsula in Antarctica. We don't know exactly where we're going to be. I mean, we have permits, we have a schedule, but weather's in ultimate control in some of these destinations, and so is wildlife. I mean, if we see something really cool, we want a flexible itinerary, so the captain and the expedition leader can say, "Oh, actually, there's a penguin colony over here. Let's go over here," and give the guest that immersive experience. But yes, so we launched this summer in Iceland, a phenomenal destination for the ship. And we did circumnavigation of Iceland, 10-day voyages, and I mean, they were so well received by the guests. The expedition team that we had on board was phenomenal. We took guests Zodiac cruising the fjords, took guests on hikes ashore, and it was a great first season for the ship.
Okay, so let's talk about the ship itself.
Yeah.
How many suites? And it's all suites.
All suites, all verandas, all Butler Service, and there's just 100 of them. So 100 suites, 200 guests. And the suites are really well appointed. Yeah, so our lead-in suite category is our deluxe suite. We actually have, it's 90% of what the ship offers. And including the veranda, it's 355 square feet. So if you're familiar with our Symphony and Serenity, that's close to our Seabreeze penthouses on that ship. And that's the lead-in category here on Endeavour. And as you said, well appointed, all the way down to the ceiling of the suites is higher than most suites on board the ships. It gives it more of an apartment feel rather than a cabin feel, and so all the way down to that, the lights.
What I like, I mean, you listened to the comments and people were saying more plugs, more, and there's more plugs in my room than people, but certainly our equipment.
Yeah, and that was again. When you're building a ship, you have to build it, for the future. You can't think about what the needs are now. And obviously with technology, everyone has cell phones now, they have iPads. All of that needs to be plugged in. And so we have it on both sides of the bed, both US and USB, and also the European outlets. So, whatever the guests need, depending on where we're sailing, they'll
and standard in the room is a little sauna for my coat. In case I'm in
There's a closet for the parkas, or I mean, you could put anything in there, but...
now it's going to be my bathrobe after a shower. That's the exploring I'm doing.
Yes, it's beautifully designed, and the... when you think you're in some of these destinations like the Arctic, you have a lot of clothes, right? You have your parkas, you have your boots, your pants, you want to have rain pants on the outer layers, so you need to be able to store all that, and I think the suites are matched for that. You have your beautiful walk-in closet, and then you also have that parka closet as well.
And Shackleton, if he went to the bathroom, the floors weren't heated.
No, but ours are on Endeavour. The bathrooms, all the bathrooms and all the suites will have a heated floor. Especially in the cold weather.
And you get out of the shower, and the mirror's not steamed up because you treated it to
mirrors. It's
all those little touches.
That's what luxury is about. It's personal. It's what do the guests want as they're exploring.
So let's move from there to the public spaces. Where are we now?
Palm Court, the beautiful Palm Court.
Sounds familiar.
Yes.
That crystallizing of Expedition.
Exactly, and it circles back to what I was saying earlier, that we want all our guests to feel at home on board Crystal, and so the Palm Court, of course, we have it on our other ships as well, and it's a fantastic gathering space, and lots of natural light. You'll see floor-to-ceiling windows, overhead windows. Our guests need to be able to see these destinations that we're sailing through, no matter where they are, on board the ship or ashore.
But talking about natural light, what about the solarium?
The the beautiful solarium. So down on deck 5, we have it's a 2-story glass enclosed solarium. It houses our seahorse pool. It also has Marketplace, which is open for breakfast and lunch. And it's got a jacuzzi there. And then there's even some outside seating for guests if they want to eat al fresco here we're in the Bahamas. Beautiful weather today, and they can enjoy it outside.
Other than that, what are some of your other favorite spots?
So we have the Expedition Lounge. That's key to this vessel. The Expedition Lounge is where our expedition team will be throughout the day to meet with our guests, have one-on-one conversations, sign up for shore excursions, or to sign up to use the kayaking, the Zodiacs, all of that. And then right across the hall from that is a beautifully appointed library and pantry area, so the guests can grab a coffee and a good book and curl up as we're making our way to some of these remote places. We have the bistro, which also comes from our other ocean ships as well, open to grab a quick snack, a croissant and a coffee in the morning, or maybe some charcuterie and wine in the afternoon. And then, of course, Crystal's so well known for our culinary experience on board. So we have Waterside, our main restaurant, which is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the main dining venue on board the ship. Rotating menus, open seating, no reservations required. And we brought over 2 of our specialty restaurants from our ocean ships. So we have Prego, which is our quintessential Northern Italian restaurant. And we also have Umi Uma, which is our Japanese restaurant. All of that for just 200 guests on board. So they have options, and that's what luxury is. It's personal.
Well, no, and the bottom line is we're talking about an expedition ship as we do this. So you also have a connoisseur club.
Yes, yep. Located on deck 5 as well is our connoisseurs club for guests to enjoy a cognac and a cigar if they wish as they're sailing.
And the spa.
Yes, that was another important thing.
If you're trekking, you need to recoup.
Well, a luxury traveler, they need dedicated spa, salon, and fitness center. This is going to attract more of an active audience, and they want to have a place to work out. And just until recently, a lot of expedition ships didn't have a dedicated spa, salon, and fitness center. And if they did, it wasn't as expansive as the one here on Endeavour. So that was another key design feature when envisioning this vessel.
So what is the crew to guest ratio?
It's actually the crew outnumber the guests. So we have 206 crew on board for 200 guests. So it's just slightly better than 1-to-1.
Well, the Butler Service is there.
Yes. So, as I mentioned, all the suites have Butler Service. They'll introduce themselves to the guest on embarkation day. And really, you just let them know what you need, and it's their pleasure to make it come to realization.
And because this is suites, or it's like a poker game. Jacks are better. The suites are better. There are no standard staterooms here. Right. Part of the perks are the laundry service. Yep. I had a coat, a shirt, and a tie that my butler said, we'll get it to you. I said, by tomorrow? He said, no, you need it tonight? I said, yeah. He came back 7 minutes later.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's this type of, the guests on this ship, they're paying to be on this ship for a reason, and the crew is the big part of that reason. But all the suites on board have Butler Service, so whatever you need, they show you around the room. We have the standard amenities. Your mini bar will be stocked with a bottle of red, a bottle of white, some waters, and there'll also be a champagne in the room. But you just let your butler know, if you prefer one over the other. And
talk about the coffee maker.
Oh, I love the espresso machine. Fantastic. It comes with the pods and everything, and you can have a great coffee in the morning to wake up, which for me is needed.
Now, the last time we talked, we're going to speak about itineraries now, but the last time we talked, there were 2 world cruises naively being planned. Let's go over the big picture now.
Sure. So once we get off the ship here and it leaves Miami, it's going to head down to, it's going to do a 9-night voyage of the Bahamas and Caribbean down to San Juan. And then after that, we're going to run the ship right down to Ushuaia, and she's going to start her Antarctic season November 18. And what's really fantastic is we just announced last Thursday, that we have free included charter air now. So guests, from North America, it's the easiest way to get down to the Antarctic. So you just fly into Miami. We'll have a charter aircraft. We'll bring all of our guests down to Ushuaia, have a pre-night hotel stay, go on your Antarctic expedition, come back, we'll fly you back to Miami, and you'll have a post-night stay. So it's completely packaged together. And in this COVID environment, all the guests on board the aircraft will be fully vaccinated because it's a requirement of Argentina to even get in. So you have that sense of security as well in our current environment.
But I mean, it was difficult to get down there. You saw that as a problem that needed to be solved, and you did.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's of course the world is getting back on its feet again, and the borders are opening, which is all fantastic. But in the near future, there was a need to get guests down to Antarctica, and so we solved it.
Now, this ship is extremely. The sustainability level is high. Let's address that for a little bit. What do you have? Special programs and special
absolutely.
features?
So, just from the very basics, you'll see no plastic water bottles on board. Even in suites, it's all the refillable containers. So there's no individual plastic water bottles.
No, those plastic water bottles, they're plastic, but you guys recycle them.
Right. They're not disposable plastic bottles. Yeah.
So we get delivered every day fresh water.
Yeah.
In bottles that you supply, and they're sealed with a little sticker,
Exactly.
and then those are reused.
And it says when it's been bottled and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see, of course, no plastic straws and things like that. Just really, I mean, because this ship is going to go to some really, really beautiful, pristine places, and we take it to heart that it's our responsibility to sustain those places and really sustain everywhere we go. So we take good care of that.
I'm still stuck on the water bottles. The water, is it processed here? Do you?
Yeah, we have a water treatment plant on board, which filters all the water, and then we bottle it and put it into the suites and around the restaurants as well. Yeah.
Let's start to wrap up and we're talking to over more than 90,000 travel advisors. What do they need to know to get involved? How can they, are there programs? Is there education?
Oh, absolutely. So our website is the best place to start. We have a partner resource center, which has all of our brochures, our flyers, our assets for all of the Crystal brands. But we, of course, have the Endeavor there as well. And then, just reach out to us.
Website address?
www.crystalcruises.com, and then you'll be able to select expedition. It'll bring up the ship, all of the ship details. We even have our expedition leaders listed there so that you and your clients can learn about the team we'll have on board. And it's my biggest piece of advice is reach out if you have questions. Expedition can be overwhelming for those that may not know it. But reach out. I mean, we're happy to help. We have a fantastic sales team, and even including myself, I'm always available as well. And to go over the itineraries and really differentiate why we are elevating the expedition market with Crystal.
So, any final word to the travel advisors?
Absolutely, come join us. The best way to understand the product is to join us. We have travel advisor rates actually right now for all of our ships for ocean, expedition, and river. So I was mentioning our partner resource center on our website. All the information's listed there. And come join us and bring some of your clients. Have a great group and come down to Antarctica. It's the easiest way to do it right now. And we'd love to have you.
Beyond Antarctica, what's next?
Yeah, so March 2020.
That was your final word, but all right.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to end the Antarctic season March 2022, head over to the western coast of Africa up there, and make our way to the Arctic for the summer of 2022. And then we're basically going to do a circle, come back down the east coast of the United States, and head down to Ushuaia for the Antarctic season at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. And then in the summer of 2023, we're actually going to do a Northeast Passage. We're doing it from Tromsø, Norway to Anadyr, Russia, which is Far East Russia. It's a 28-day voyage through the Russian high Arctic. Will be a really fantastic voyage, a lot of wildlife, polar bears. And then at the end of that, we're in the fall of 2023, where we'll be back doing Japan, Australia, which was planned for the beginning of 2020 when we were going to launch the ship. So if you have clients that, unfortunately their voyage was canceled due to COVID, look at 2023 because we did work in some of those itineraries again.
Mark, thank you for talking to us.
My pleasure. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.